Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Phocuswright's Senior Vice President of Research and Business Operations, Lorraine Cilio.
The year is 2011, and the Phocuswright Conference began its run right here at the Diplomat. It was a good year for the economy. IPOs were coming back after being victim to the global recession, and venture capital was flowing again. And it was also a good year for travel, with lots of changes taking place. As a matter of fact, looking back at that conference just 6 years ago, and the conversation was very different than it is today. ITA Software made their first appearance as a Google company. And lots of people were worried that Google was going to wipe out its competitors and take over the world. In particular, there was concern about Google Flight Search, and some people had hoped that that product would just go away.
Seems like Larry Page has been on a mission to shut down a lot of non-core Google services. Any fear in your mind that in 1-2 years ITA might be one of those?
Nope.
Rats.
In that short time, Google never did kill its competitors in flight search, although, as you'll hear from Alice Zhang's presentation on Wednesday, they are giving them a run for their money. But now, just like ITA, Kayak, Hipmunk, and Skyscanner are all subsidiaries of someone else. Though we keep welcoming new brands to the stage, like Hopper and Kiwi. We'll see what 2018 will bring. Also in 2011, a digital behemoth took the Phocuswright stage for the first time as an industry player.
Is just getting started, and a lot of you in this room are already starting to take advantage of it.
They talked about what they saw as this natural tie-in between social and search, but admitted we're just at the very beginning. Of course, in a very short time, Facebook would become one of the most important media companies in the world, and social and travel would be forever entwined. Priceline's market cap was $24 billion. It was roughly 4 times that of Expedia's. We thought it was outrageous then, but over the summer, it hit $100 billion. C-Trip lagged behind with a market cap of $4 billion. Now look at it. You get the picture. A private accommodation company just went public after raising $500,000 and pioneered a whole new online travel category. Phocuswright had just sized the fledgling market, and we knew it was going to be big. As a matter of fact, we told you just how big it would become. But everyone wondered, could HomeAway coexist with another startup that just achieved a monster funding round? Apple's new iPhone 4S boasted a new voice control system, but being first doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be better. Of course, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft would later introduce their own, and many say superior, voice technologies that will redefine travel search someday. Also in 2011, one speaker actually had to talk about the relevance of ground transportation, because it just wasn't part of the conversation then. And let's face it, ground was kind of boring before these guys came around, and that word became synonymous with disruption. Also in 2011, Dara was still Expedia's CEO. He had big shoes to fill when he took the helm in 2005, and he did it well. Oh, and another thing about that conference. While many of us didn't even know what AI was yet, the word personalization was uttered a total of 6 times on center stage. Now you can't even read a travel industry press release without seeing that word at least 6 times. But we didn't always get it right. Yes, we did discuss some things that were a flash in the pan. Okay, maybe just one. So why am I telling you all this, and why are we going back in time? Well, to remind us of where we came from, how far we've come, and to give us a sense of awe of what the next 6 years will bring. Travel is an amazing industry, especially in the way it reinvents itself year after year. You are all risk takers, and we thrive on your ideas. You are here because you are the ones creating our industry's future. Many of these companies I just mentioned will be on stage over the next 3 days. We're probably telling us a whole different story than they did that first time here. So welcome, everyone, to the Phocuswright Conference. The survivors, the winners, and the relentless contenders. We have 1,600 delegates from 40 countries. Let's hear what the future will bring. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Phocuswright's Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Pete Como.
Thank you very much, Lorraine. Welcome. Technology forms the backbone of the travel hospitality industry. Innovation fuels that advancement in technology to create efficiencies across the ecosystem. Over the course of the next 2.5, 3 days, you'll see startups and emerging companies sharing how their approach to a technology or business model will transform the industry. You'll see established companies launching new products. You'll see investors talk about what's myth, what's reality, and what really has a chance to create breakthrough value. You'll see our industry's leaders talk about how technology and innovation fuels their roadmaps. And lastly, in the Phocuswire studio, you'll hear Kevin interview pundits talking about what's true, what's not true, what the future holds. Here at Phocuswright, innovation is a big part of our ecosystem as well. We made a couple of changes this year that I'll make you aware of. The Battleground, which used to be our early stage and continues to be our early stage underfunded startup competition, was pulled away from the main event. We produced it in Sunnyvale in September, which we'll do again next September. We also zeroed out the fee for innovators to participate because we realized that we were missing some of the best early stage companies that didn't have the means to pay an entry fee. So what that did was create a massive amount of folks that were interested in pitching on our stage, which was great for us. We had a lot to choose from. The Battleground was a really successful event. We promoted the 2 winners of Battleground, which was Redeem and Waylo, to stage here today. And hopefully you'll see 24 innovators today that are really unique. It's a curated group across a lot of different parts of the industry. So we're excited to present those to you today. Innovation is also a big part of our entire ecosystem at Phocuswright. So Phocuswright, as a market research company, we track those trends that are evolving on the market that will impact the industry today and as we move ahead. Travel startups are a big part of that ecosystem. So as we moved out of the most recent recession, we saw a huge explosion in individuals that were starting travel businesses. 3 to 4 years later, we saw a huge influx of invested capital coming into the space, primarily into those established, kind of growing ground transportation and private accommodation companies. Phocuswright has created an innovation platform to help connect startups with the industry and investors and vice versa. The foundation of that platform is our research practice as well as learning opportunities through our university program and other initiatives that connect our research to the industry. Our events Battleground, which is our early stage, underfunded startup competition, again, in Sunnyvale that we produced back in September. Also Phocuswright India, we have a Battleground, as well as Phocuswright Europe. Our Summit program, which is that curated list of the best 24 companies, startup, emerging, no limit on funding. And Launch, which is tomorrow, which is established companies that are launching new products. We also take our events on the road, and we have a number of great partners that we can plug our innovators into to put them in front of audiences that are appropriate for their businesses. So we've partnered with ARDA, we partnered with GBTA, we partnered with ITB, and a number of others to display our innovators on their stages. We also, as it goes at Phocuswright, we're a big fan of networking opportunities. So any opportunity we get to create connections within our audience, we take advantage of that. And then today here at Summit, we have some great partners that have helped support our innovation ecosystem. Brand USA, title sponsor of the Summit. Amadeus is a sponsor of our global battlegrounds, and a number of other great companies across the ecosystem, whether it's investors, technology companies, et cetera. So Summit is the result of a year's worth of scouring the globe to find the most interesting companies to present to you today. We started out in India back in February, March, where we crowned Miles Life our Asia Pac Innovator of the Year. Moving on to Europe, which was produced in May, Kenichi was the winner of our Battleground in Europe. And then lastly, just in September, Redeem and Waylo were the champions of the Battleground Americas. We also accepted applications from around the world that we screened over the course of the year to put together the list for today. So how successful have we been? So we've screened probably 1,000, 1,500 innovators. We've accepted just over 300 over the course of the 9 years we've been producing the event. They've collectively raised over $2.3 billion. 45 of them have been acquired. Companies that you may know, TripIt, Silver Rail, they've come through the process and led to some successful exits. So what makes our event unique in this marketplace? It's the process. So we have 24 innovators that'll present today. They have 9.5 total minutes on stage. They'll pitch for 6 minutes, and then 3.5 minutes in the Dragon's Den. So the judging criteria, our dragons and judges will vote on technology innovation, business model innovation, potential business value, how good are they at selling their concept, the quality of the management team, and lastly, the potential to create breakthrough value in the travel industry. So we've changed up the dragons a little bit this year, so hopefully you'll enjoy the fresh faces that you'll see on stage. They may be kind and land pleasantly and nicely, or you might see something like this. So we'll give out some awards. Most innovative startup, most innovative emerging company, the Brand USA Marketing Innovation Award, the OAG Award for AI Innovation, the General Catalyst Award for Travel Innovation, and lastly, the People's Choice Award, which is voted on by you. So how do you vote? It's pretty simple. You can do it on your mobile app. Just open your app, go to the More menu item, select on My Surveys and Voting. On the desktop, you can do it on the My Conference site as well. Voting will go from the end of the demonstrations this afternoon through midnight for Summit. So make sure that, first off, wait till the end so you can see all the innovators. And then secondly, make sure you get your vote in before the bar closes tonight. So I'm really excited for the group of dragons we have as well as a group of innovators. And I'd like to start off by introducing the amazing set of dragons that we have today. First up, Amir Amidi, Managing Partner, Travel and Hospitality Center for Innovation at Plug and Play Ventures. Amy Farley, Senior Editor, Fast Company. Catherine Grass, Head of Innovation and Ventures, Amadeus IT Group. Bobby Healy, CTO of Car Trawler. Chris Hemmeter, Managing Director, Thayer Ventures. Todd Heinrich, SVP Corporate Development, The Priceline Group. Evan Conweiser, Vice President Digital Travel, American Express Global Business Travel. Rajiv Kumar, Founder, Managing Director, and CEO of Mystifly. Matt Arego, Co-Founder and CEO, Cornerstone Information Systems. KP Phelan, Chief Operating Officer, Rome to Rio. And Reggie Vergali, Head of Corporate Development and Strategy from Expedia Inc. Let's give them a round of applause. All right. And with our first, actually, I'm going to announce the full set of innovators first, and then we'll bring up the first one. We have Miles Life, Redeem, Kenichi, ConnexPay, Bidroom, Splitty, Waylo, Beach Inspector, Pablo, MadeBot, Constance, Mezzi, and our alternate, Welcome. Let's give them a round of applause. I'm going to introduce the first 4 dragons that are going to come on stage. We have Bobby Healy, CTO Car Trawler, Chris Hemmeter from Thayer Ventures, Rajiv Kumar from Mystifly, and KP Phelan. Let's give the innovators a couple of seconds here to get settled. Lady and gents, ready?
Yeah, ready to go.
Great. And our first innovator, Troy Liu from Miles Life. Troy, welcome to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I hope Miles Life can be a great kickoff for the event. But let's start with my personal life before Miles Life first. I start collecting miles very aggressively back when I was in college in 2001, and I was bored enough to join every single program around the globe, and also trying to become an elite member of some hotel and airlines back when I was studying in school. So has anyone ever done mileage run before here? Oh, I got some. Okay, so this airport, Fort Lauderdale, was the most visited airport when I was in college. It was a cheap fare, a lot of miles. So, but in 2007, I decided to teach people how to use miles. So I started blogging on boarding area. I was one of the earliest blogger on boarding area. Has anyone reading boarding area blog right now? Oh, good. Yeah, there's a lot of bloggers right now, yeah. But in order to keep up with my content back then, so I have to burn a lot of miles to travel to over 100 countries, try to find out what to write. Until 2013, I got called up by the airline and hotel loyalty program to become their private consultant. But throughout all those years, airline and hotel keep asking me, what can they do to bring their life closer, bring their member closer to daily life? Reader asked me how to earn miles faster. And as an independent traveler, I try to find a product for me to use at home and at the destination without switching around. So eventually, Miles Life was created in 2015. It's a mobile app for a user to earn their preferred airline miles directly through everyday spending and travel. And they successfully collect the airline, merchant, banks, and the user all on the same platform. So upon launch in less than 2 years, we become a direct official partner of 14 airline loyalty programs around the globe, including United Airlines, Emirates, KrisFlyer, ANA, and British Airways. All those miles you have been accumulating for a long time already. And speaking of Emirates, we're currently having a launching promotion right now. So if you download the app, by the way, the app is not in Chinese, it's in Chinglish. And link your car, you earn 200 bonus miles right away. If you're an elite member of Emirates, you earn additional bonus based on your tier. Because we have API, we can track your status. So how to earn miles on Miles Life? It's very straightforward and easy. First of all, you look for the restaurant. We have restaurants ranging from Michelin star to daily cafes. And then you just go there as a regular customer. And then after you finish your meal, you click a pay in the app. And then you tell the cashier to bring the bill. You enter the bill amount in the app, your frequent flyer number, and the payment method is pre-stored. And then you click a pay. That's it. The miles goes to your account next day automatically. And don't forget to claim the receipt as usual so you can get reimbursed from your company or your wife. So it's not just about dining. It's including dining, spa, lifestyle. I will have also e-commerce, staycation, everything. We also sell train travels on the Miles Life platform. Because the product is running in multi-location, so once you we go to a different location, it will also serve as a travel guide. You can continue to earn miles through all those categories. So what's unique about the product is you earn up to 7 miles for $1 spent, and you will double dip with your credit card. You got a very speeding posting next day to prevent your miles from expire. And it will serve also as a travel guide and a mobile wallet for you. And finally, you can earn extra benefits if you're an elite member of the airlines, and also you can earn some flying benefits next year. So, but the true value for this product is bring to the airline. We finally was able to connect the daily life to the airline to bring the member engagement back. Because every time member log into the airline to check their balance, every time they earn miles and log in back to the airline, it will bring more engagement. A merchant network, incremental ancillary revenue, and we do a lot of marketing for the airline too. We did not competing with a credit card. We're actually partner with them. And the merchant, they've been looking for repeated customer, good quality customer, not just looking for deals. They're actually looking for loyalties. We find those merchants and redirect to the merchants. And also, it solves their payment acceptance. Like Amex, UnionPay, JCB, it's not validly accepted in Asia. And also banks, we increase their card usage for those particular card type, and also we help them with the new card member acquisition and also payment acceptance. So the model is very simple. We get a card from the merchant, and we pay the airline for the miles, and miles drop to the account, drop to the member's account. There's a margin between the difference. So this is how the airline promoting Miles Life to direct the traffic to the app. And also, we just finished a promotion with Amex in Singapore co-brand credit card to earn up to 11.3 miles by using this credit card. So in less than 2 years, we had 3,000 plus merchants acquired on our own. And we were operating in 2 countries and 8 cities. And we have an English and Chinese version. This 2 versions is completely 2 products, and we built separately and put it back into one app. Continues in the future with more countries to be added on, a global reward network will expand it. So in 2018, there will be more city coverage, more flying benefits, and an enterprise solution will be developed for the airlines. So this is the airline currently not on Miles Life list. So anyone interested in anything, just let me know. I will get them. Okay, we have a team of 50 people from relevant fields, some from airlines, some from local lifestyle platforms. They're all from loyalty program. And finally, it's a gift for everyone. Miles Life /1,000 bonus miles. You can just enter your frequent flyer number, we'll drop the miles. I will remove this link in a few hours. Too many bloggers right now. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Troy. Right on time. Grab a seat in the lion's den. Dragons,
Okay.
what do you think?
I'm interested in knowing how do you make your money in it?
Oh, yeah, there was a cut between the cut we received from the merchant and the money we paid to the airline. There's a difference.
Are you profitable? What percentage is that?
It's starting from 7% all the way to very high for the e-commerce platform. Yeah.
So you're only in 2 markets. So your product's only in 2 markets, or your source customers are in 2 markets?
In 2 markets. The product is in 2 markets.
So your merchants are only in 2 markets?
Yes. But there's some travel merchants around the globe, like amusement park tickets and e-tickets.
Yeah.
But local merchants only in 2 markets of 8 cities.
So many of your customers there are very international, like Emirates. If I look at Emirates and the Emirates customers, are you in the Emirates app? I didn't get that fully.
No, we're not in their app. Their app is promoting us to download our app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're raising a round then to expand, to acquire merchants in more markets?
We did not really raise a round, but yeah, we did figure out a way to expand.
How are you going to expand?
Just by hiring some people.
So it's so the
but
business.
in the future, yes,
so
in the future, yes, you need more people to
So
expand.
is it profitable, the business?
Oh, not really, not yet. But it's-
Okay. All right.
Which is very bad, by the way.
Okay. Do you have a plan then?
Oh yeah, because you're supposed to be expanding right now, not just trying to counting money, how much money.
How old is the business? 3,000 merchants. How many merchants are you signing in?
3,000 is only less than 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, we only have 12 sales.
So 60 merchants a week.
So the idea is to basically aggregate all those travelers and make the promise to merchants that if they participate in the program, you'll be a source of leads, right?
Yeah, kind
And
of
then-
like that, but it's not. It's more aggregating the travelers. Everybody who has a frequent flyer account. It's more about earning miles through their daily
No,
life.
I get
rather
that. I
than
get
just
that.
travel.
I get
Yeah.
that. But the key part of your economic engine is the merchant, because
Yes.
the merchant creates the liquidity that allows you
Yep.
to buy the miles
Yep.
to reward the traveler. And so that means that to grow to global scale, you have to have a massive sales force taking care of
But merchant
tens of
acquisition, you're right.
thousands of merchants. And so how do you expect to do that in the U.S.? I mean, I can see where in other countries maybe you can move to scale quickly, but do you have a low-hanging fruit problem here? And when you try to get to 10,000 merchants, it's going to fall apart?
Yeah, but there's still a way to solve it, because there's other.
I mean, I don't know very many merchants in the U.S. that are going to pay, 7 to 20% for an aggregated program like this when they're
Well, I think they will, because we do not offer discounts on the platform. So that's why it's actually some way equivalent to whatever discount they're actually giving out to acquire user to purchase anyway. Yeah.
Run, okay,
Okay.
I get that. But at the same time, I mean, your model is a direct sales model, right? You have no other way of aggregating merchants than to put a feet on the street and sell merchants one at a time.
No.
You've never considered bringing in third-party aggregators of
Nope.
activities providers?
Nope.
Get your
Yeah, activity, yes. Activity, we actually have aggregators.
You're using
That's
aggregators.
the only part we use aggregator. Everything else we handle our own, because we basically have a POS.
Yeah.
So that's why we can control the merchant.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Great energy.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, guys.
Troy. Good way to start. Thank you, Troy. Next up, Lee Stevens from Redeem.
Redeem solves a multi-billion-dollar problem by eliminating paper vouchers for the tours and attractions industry. See, unlike flights, cars, and hotels that have enabled electronic distribution, the same has not happened for the tours and attractions industry. In fact, it's actually still mostly paper-based. So if I was to go to a reseller like an OTA to buy a flight, they send me a real ticket via email, and then later I get a barcode on my phone that I can scan and get on the plane. Not so for tourist attractions. If I was to go to that same reseller and buy a ticket to a museum or an observation deck or a hop-on, hop-off bus ride, I don't get a real ticket. I get a voucher. And this is a PDF that they send me that I need to print and bring to the attraction. Once I get there, commonly involves waiting in a line to exchange that voucher for a real ticket. This is obviously not how I, as a traveler, want to start my vacation. However, it's so much worse for the tourist attraction, because they have the front office staff to exchange the voucher, but then back office staff that need to count each voucher, verify each voucher, reconcile each voucher, and then finally invoice the reseller for what they've sold. And this collectively costs tourist attractions billions of dollars each year. In fact, one of our clients actually used to spend 27 days of the month going through all the vouchers from last month. What if their sales went up by 20%? So we all know that as a whole, mobile bookings in the travel industry are going up. However, the tourism and attraction space is so antiquated that adding mobile into this mix makes it even worse. Because even if you buy on your mobile, you still need to print out that piece of paper somehow and bring it to the attraction. This has historically led to poor mobile sales and bad reviews, which, because people take into account those reviews when they book, means they book even less, creating this negative spiral. If you're a reseller and you can't sell mobile tickets, you're also leaving money on the table. Now, this is a problem that affects every single tourist attraction in the world that distributes their tickets. Doesn't matter what kind that they are. If the solution is kind of like what we did for flights, cars, and hotels to enable electronic distribution, but at a much larger scale because there's so many, hundreds of thousands of tourist attractions in the world. Redeem solves this problem by electronically connecting the reseller, the traveler, and the attraction. Let me show you how. The typical tourist attraction works with dozens of different resellers, although the large ones work with hundreds. And each reseller has its own kind of voucher. They're all unique. This is our on-premise tablet scanning solution. It can scan any voucher from any reseller, instantly validate it, and then issue a ticket. We read all barcodes on all vouchers using our omni-scanning technology. And a lot of vouchers actually don't even have a barcode, in which case we use computer vision to read the text and then process the voucher that way. We can even support handwritten vouchers from the concierges and the like by manually transcribing it for the attraction. What this means is that on day one of Redeem, an attraction solves 100% of the voucher problem. They commonly think of us as this magic machine where paper and mobile vouchers come in and a single neat report pops out at the end of the month that they use for invoicing. And they absolutely love our magical voucher elimination machine. It's great for the traveler because they get mobile tickets onto their phone, they scan and go in. And for the resellers, they see increased mobile sales as a result of being able to offer real mobile tickets online. This is just one application of our universal voucher redemption technology. It can be integrated into the ticketing and reservation systems that are already existing in the suppliers, meaning that they don't need to change the technology or services they're currently using. We also support all of the resellers that they're currently using, over 300 worldwide, in all languages and currencies, making us truly a global solution. Just like our solution has to be simple for the attractions, so is our business model. We charge a 3% fee of every voucher that we process or ticket. We save the attraction dollars in cost and charge them only pennies. And we're working with some of the most iconic attractions in the world, like the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Statue of Liberty, and the One World Observatory. And these are just a handful of the over 100 clients that we have that we're helping to eliminate paper vouchers for. And I have to say, business has been pretty good. Since launching in April, we've been growing at 40% month over month. And we're just getting started. The market shows that $35 billion will be spent on tours and attractions sold through third parties this year alone. In 3 years, that's going to grow by 22% to over $43 billion. We have a team that's well seasoned in technology and in the tours and attractions industry. Our CEO, Kevin McLaughlin, founded Smart Destinations, an attraction pass company that he grew to $45 million in revenue. It was recently sold to the Big Bus company for over $50 million. CTO Nathan Probst co-founded Rebit, backup software that's in tens of millions of computers worldwide. Alex Kramer has written for Phocuswright and T-News, and founded FlexTrip, a B2B tour and activity platform. I was CEO, co-founder at FlexTrip with Alex, and we successfully exited that company to Nor1. Even though we've been around the block, we've got a great team of advisors with experience at Disney, Universal Studios, Ticketmaster, Google, Expedia, and Phocuswright. This is the team that knows technology, and this is the team that knows this industry. And we're bringing it together to develop electronic distribution for the tours and attractions market that the rest of travel has had for decades. Oh, and we really hate paper. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Lee.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Grab a seat in the Dragon's Den. Dragons? Tours and activities.
Sure. I think that's a really great product. There's nothing like a simple solution for a long-term problem, so congratulations on the work you've done so far. I'm curious about the redemption process. Do you supply hardware to any of your outlets?
There's two ways it works. Either we do supply the hardware, and that's typically if they don't have a reservation system or a ticketing system, or they don't have a very modern one. There's a lot of homegrown stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But so we give them that tablet and it just scans everything, and that's pretty easy. For the ones that do have a good system or the one that they want to integrate, we integrate with that system, so they don't need to change that.
Okay.
And we're just additive to what they already have.
Great.
Do you not have a giant technology output problem there where you're directly integrating with a hugely diverse population of legacy systems? How do you handle that, scaling that up?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an 80-20 rule. I'd say there's a dozen systems out there that really matter to our business. You know, we're not going after the small, like Segway tour operator. We're going after the large-scale attractions that are doing at least $1 million a year in channel sales.
Yeah.
They have a pretty modern system a lot of the time. They have one that can integrate.
So all of your revenue is on the supplier, the attraction side. There's no other revenue on the other side of that.
Pretty much, yeah. We charge the suppliers. They're our main customer.
Okay. Sorry to take all the time. Do you see blockchain in either your future or as a threat?
I don't see a blockchain in our future, but I mean, it'll probably eat the world in some way, but in the horizon for my business, in 5
Not for
to 10
your
years,
exit time frame.
I don't see it happening.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about something that's so advanced when we've got guys that are still dealing with pieces of paper. You know, like sure, maybe, but.
So you know what? One of the things I think is so interesting about what you're doing is that you're really in a race with the ultimate destination of this category, right? And so, you know, some people would come at it and say, we're going to go straight to a clean ticketing process all the way from, you know, sale, distribution, redemption, all the way through. It's going to be mobile, it's going to be seamless, it's going to be end-to-end. You're starting by fixing what is a chaotic category from the back end, but on a race, I imagine, to that front-end ultimate solution, because if you're late, your entire business model will get wiped out, right? So how are you handling that pressure?
Yeah, we view the voucher redemption piece as the first piece for us. That's our Trojan horse. It's such a big problem for every single attraction that they want it right away. So that's our first piece, to lay the connectivity. After that, we can sort of have other services on top. I don't see competition in the connectivity space, but I do see competition in some of the other stuff like distribution.
Right, and I think Trojan horse is the appropriate answer, but you don't want all your Trojans to die in the horse, right? I mean, at some point, you got to bust out of the belly and fight. When do you think you're going to do that? Is that 2 years out, 3 years out?
I'd say something like that. The industry has always moved a lot slower than I think anyone in technology has hoped. So, you know, you don't want to say 2 years. It could be 5. It could be more. But yeah, at some point, you're right.
Yeah, very good. Anyone else? I can keep going.
Yeah.
So I just noticed that all of the attractions you mentioned are US only. Any European footprint or Asian footprint?
Not yet. That's on the cards for 2018. Right now, we just try to stay focused on what we're good at, and eliminate as many differences as we can in our product. So now that we've got it right in the US, we're expanding to
a well-funded competitor that takes those markets prevents you from getting there ever?
It's possible. Hasn't happened
It's kind
yet.
of to Chris's point. You know, it's more if you don't move fast enough, you cede that territory forever.
Yeah, it's hard to say what other people will do, but so far we haven't seen anything. Got to move as fast as we can.
Yep.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Lee.
Yeah, hold on.
Next up, Max Waldman from Kenichi. Max, go ahead and take the stage.
Good morning, everyone. An honor to be here today. So before I start, I want you to think about the last time you stayed at a hotel. You walked in, that long and windy process. You queued. Especially if you're a frequent traveler, traveling up to 3 times a week, this is a super annoying process. You have to, get this impersonal welcome. You have to fill out a registration form, hand over your credit card, get your physical key. Next morning, remember to wake up early because you consumed something from the minibar. So go ahead and split bills because you have your company bill, your private bill, and then grab the taxi and off to the airport. Really, hotel stays in 2017 don't feel seamless and easy. And that's exactly what we try and bridge with Kenichi. We create this technology bridge between corporates and hotels to optimize both the in-stay and the post-stay processes. And this problem is big enough because in the US in 2016 alone, there were 488 million business trips. And if those processes would have been optimized, there could have been savings of around $19.5 billion US dollars. So, problem big enough for us to tackle. Now, if you look at the market, you see that by 2025, around 75% of travelers will be Generation YZ travelers, okay? So guys which are used to the Uber-style experience. The majority of travelers do want mobile service at a hotel, and in fact, 40% of those travelers say that business travel and the experience directly impacts their results, which makes perfect sense because travel, and especially business travel, really is the glue which keeps companies together. And so what we do is we allow travelers to use their respective corporate travel app to check in and check out at a variety of different hotels, both independent and chain properties. So one application for all hotels. They can go ahead and use a bunch of other mobile services, such as ordering from their room, being able to directly communicate with the hotel, having their guest map directly on file, so a really easy and seamless hotel experience. We make sure that the entire process is paperless, so we do not want travelers to ever touch the invoice or registration form or city tax form again. Completely paperless stays. And we really create a simple and easy interface to allow for a mobile payment solution. So exactly like Uber, you can use your smartphone to pay at the hotel. In fact, increasing the virtual credit card acceptance to 100%. Now, the beauty of this is, through blockchain technology, we can actually reduce and eliminate the transaction fee on the hotel side of around 2%, making sure you have a wallet-to-wallet payment process which is completely feeless. Now, if we look at corporates, we see that a fair share of bookings already been done on mobile devices. And if you look and you speak to corporate travel managers, they actually see the value of using a mobile solution to optimize those processes, which will in turn create savings. Nevertheless, there's always a fair share of process costs, of hidden costs, which are not reflected in the actual room rate, and those are exactly the costs that we're tackling. We're saving corporates around $40 per trip, allowing them to use the solution to optimize the in-stay and the post-stay processes. And note, we're not looking at the ADR, we're not looking at the room rate, we're only looking at the process costs. And in fact, using our solution, we increase compliance and reduce Maverick bookings by around 30%. Why? Because we create a solution which truly gives a value to the traveler. We actually shed light into the black box hotels to make corporates understand what travelers are consuming, understand the traveler pattern and behavior to holistically optimize the entire program. And what we really care about is boosting the traveler NPS and the traveler satisfaction, because that's what it comes down to. That's what everyone here cares about, making that experience better and enhanced. In the course of the past 3 years, we've been building all these integrations into property management systems, hotel CMS systems, corporate solutions, as well as payment solutions, in order to create this holistic technology bridge between corporates and between hotels. Now, the beauty of Konichi is essentially a piece of code, a DNA, which can be implemented into a variety of different corporate travel apps. And we've done so with the likes of HRS, CWT, Roadmap, Tourist Mobile, Amadeus Citric, a bunch of different applications which are already using this technology in order to holistically optimize the travel process. Now, this Konichi DNA really tackles 3 things. It tackles the processes, the payments, and personalization in corporate travel, both for hotels and corporates. Because both corporates and hotels can tap into our Konichi Galaxy to extract data such as consumption patterns, duty of care data, and on the hotel side, understand who their guests are and optimize the processes. Because again, what we care about is making sure that the processes are enhanced, that we do create savings, and lastly, an enhanced compliance. Now, one of the success stories we had was with a major Germany 30 company, where we've actually created savings of beyond $40 per trip. We've included Konichi into their RFP process, making sure that if you use Konichi, you'll be able to use it at all the different hotels you stay at. And the most important thing is, we really boost the traveler satisfaction. Again, this is what it comes down to, and this is how you can holistically enhance your entire travel program. Now, on the fee side, we charge hotels around $1 per room per month, and on the corporate side, around 10 to 20 cents per trip, bearing in mind sort of that we drastically boost the attractiveness on the hotel side for corporates, and we drastically reduce fees on the corporate side, around $40 per trip. We believe that's a very fair and flexible pricing model. Now, a bit about our team. We're 80 people based in Berlin, Belgrade, Shanghai, and San Francisco. We've been fighting in this market for the past 3 years. It wasn't an easy fight at all because it is a really tough market to tackle, but due to sort of the background of all the individuals and the passionate team, we truly believe that we're fit for that purpose. We have a user reach of beyond 25 million users, which makes us the leading solution to bridge the corporate and the hotel gap. From a technology perspective, we're doing around 100 check-ins per property per month, over 80,000 smart hotel rooms, and beyond 40 integrations, and I'm talking about real two-way integrations in that respective market. We raised beyond $12 million in funding, and hence sort of think we can really tackle this problem the best possible way. We're working with leading corporates to truly optimize that program, and we do hope that you will support us on the journey to optimize corporate hotel stays. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Max. Into the Dragon's Den. Dragons.
That's incredibly impressive. Great work. I mean, but it appears that you've got a real chicken and egg model, right? And one side of that model looks like it's going slower than you had expected, namely the hotels, right? Because your count of hotels appears to be behind the business generally. So how are you going to overcome that problem of engagement with hotels? And follow-on question, is it the economics that they're pushing back on, or is it the integration of the payment stream?
Yep. Good and absolute fair question. That's exactly the issue we've been seeing in the market and the reason why no one has been tackling it so far. So to answer that question in a more holistic way, hotels could never create this integration because it needs to be a generic integration. Otherwise, one hotel chain wouldn't use the other's proprietary technology. So it has to be a neutral third party to bridge this gap, which creates this chicken egg problem. But it's a very clear market where corporates steer volume into respective properties. Hence, if you include such a solution into your RFP process, you can really create a holistic model to bridge this chicken egg problem. Now,
but that's not working. I mean, the RFP is not driving hotels lining up your door.
Absolutely. It's absolutely working.
How many hotels do you currently have live?
So we have 500 properties live, which is a fair number, bearing in mind that the focus we had in the course of the last years was actually building these integrations. Because if you work with hotels, PMS systems, door lock systems, CMS systems, payment solutions, it's such a complex market, and actually breaking through and creating real two-way integrations.
Right, I get
that's
it.
The complexity.
Any chain deals?
Yes, we do have chain deals as well.
With?
We have chain deals with a bunch of global chains, which was impossible before we had the corporates.
Which chains?
We're working with a bunch of different chains.
But you're not integrated with the chains. Are they live?
No, we're integrated with the chains.
With the door lock systems?
We're integrating with Assa Abloy, Salto, Hefele, Messerschmitt, all the different door lock systems, as well as PMS and CRM systems.
Okay.
I've got a question. So I used a digital key to check into this hotel, and I needed to go to reception and show my ID in order to get my digital key. Is there a saving there? People still are going to have to go to reception at some point. So where do you see the seamless, not ever speaking to another human being a positive thing and being removed?
So it comes down to whether you want to come to reception or not, right? So that's your decision at the end of the day. We just don't believe that going there and having this bumpy process of virtual credit card payments and filling out forms and handing over a credit card, that's the real personalization aspect. We believe that if we can take that away and you can actually have a meaningful interaction with the employees, that's worth a lot more. Then you have travelers who are traveling 3 to 4 times a week who are saying, we'll rather go right to a room. And we can completely skip the front desk if you want to. So we can have a completely seamless process end to end where you don't touch the front desk anymore. Or you can if you want to. Again, it comes down to your personal preference. But that creates a large number of savings.
Right, and with hotels, they pride themselves on being a home away from home. That's what a hotel's going for. Do you think this is going to have an impact on the way that hotels are branded if they're not getting that personalised conversational transaction?
Well, I do think it can be a lot more personalised. If you in fact understand, and that's what we focus on, we actually deliver data to hotels to make them understand who travelers and what this traveler is and who they are. If you know who they are, you can personalise the experience. Just by, a mere payment process isn't a very personal thing. If you interact with them in a meaningful way, that's a lot more personal, and that's what we focus on.
True or false? Is the blockchain stuff you reference wallet to wallet live now?
Yeah.
Max, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next up, Bob Kaufman from ConnexPay.
Hi everyone, I'm Bob Kaufman. I'm the founder and CEO of ConnexPay. I'm not here to raise money, but I am here to talk to any of you in the audience today that currently book travel for your customers. Quick show of hands, who here has tried what we just saw, slacklining? Anyone? All right, for those with your hands up, I won't ask you what the heck you were thinking, But I bet it's that feeling of satisfaction you get when you overcome a challenge, right? We all like that to some extent. Overcoming something difficult or overcoming something risky. Heck, how often have you heard, with risk comes reward? Sure, that's true in many cases, but where it's not true is within the payments process within your company. Let me explain. Did you know that if you're a travel agency or tour operator today, that banks put you in the same risk category as online pornography and online gambling? Yup, you're put in the same bucket as those companies. Why? It's because of what banks call future delivery risk. They don't like that you're selling travel today that happens in the future. If between the time of booking, when you collect money from your customer, and the actual travel date, your company happens to go out of business, the bank is on the hook for any chargebacks. So what does that mean to you? Well, for starters, they usually require reserves that you hold at the bank. They limit how much you can process in volume each month. They often require personal guarantees. And worst of all, I promise you that you're paying higher fees than almost any other company to accept credit cards. So let me show you in a simple example how ConnectPay solves these problems. First, traveler books travel with you like they would normally today. Then when you go to accept their credit card as a form of payment, you process that through our ConnectPay merchant account. We have state-of-the-art fraud controls to make sure it's a good transaction. We don't have any limits on your volume. And most importantly, it's lower cost than anyone else. Then, instead of waiting for your money for the next day or often 2 or 3 days later, we immediately give you access to those funds real time. You can use those funds to then create virtual cards to send to your travel providers, the airline or the hotel or the car rental company, to pay for what the traveler bought. In this case, in this example, $900. We simply then send you your margin, the difference between what you charge the traveler for the booking and your cost of paying for that travel. Let me be clear on the benefits to you. First, we're going to save many of our clients millions of dollars in card processing costs. One of my first pilot clients is saving over $3 million a year. We generate additional revenue by using virtual cards as a form of payment on your outgoing payments. We free up cash flow that's currently tied up in merchant reserves. We'll simplify your reconciliation by tying all of your incoming payments with your outgoing payments. And most importantly, we give you the ability to upsell your products and services. So why choose ConnectPay? Well, for starters, I worked at a bank for 20 years. We're anything but a bank. We're a technology that focuses on making your life simple. We understand your pain points, and we know how to solve them. Nobody else in the market today has anything similar to what we have built. I'm backed by an international firm that processes over $10 billion a year in payments today. So if you're currently acting as a pass-through travel agency, I challenge you to rethink how much more you could earn by upselling your products and services. If you are acting as merchant of record today, I challenge you to rethink how much more you can save and earn with ConnectPay. Let our patent-pending technology be your bridge to higher profits.
Running the day-to-day operations of a travel agency is not an easy task. Credit, high fees, fraud, and time-consuming reconciliation ultimately affects your cash flow. It's like walking a tightrope without a safety harness. You've been told you're too risky to issue the credit needed, had to prepay and incur regular fraud losses, lost countless dollars reconciling and managing multiple accounts. It's enough to make you stumble. But there is a solution, an easier way to navigate that fine line. ConnectPay. ConnectPay offers your agency unlimited credit, lower fees, fraud protection, and handles all your reconciliation in the background. With ConnectPay, you free up your finances to inject back into your business, eliminating that tightrope and putting you on solid ground. ConnectPay.
Thank you for your time. I'll now take any questions.
Thank you very much, Bob. Dragons?
Bob, the first time I saw your little write-up, I thought it was too good to be true. It's a real problem. It's a real industry problem for sure. But how are you different from a regular acquirer or a merchant in that sense? What makes you different for the fact that you've been able to eliminate that initial capital which a travel agency needs to put forth with the bank?
Sure. So it's really about that cash flow, right? So as soon as a card is taken from a customer and that cash is given to the travel agency or the OTA or the corporate travel company, the bank doesn't know what they do with that money, right? So that's where the risk happens. In our process, those funds settle into what's called an FBO account. Think of it as like an escrow account. And they give us access to control what happens to those funds. So we make sure that the traveler gets what was purchased, and then the agency just gets their margin.
So in that way, you're tying down your travel company to the $10 billion processor who you mentioned is backing you.
That's right.
Who is that?
CSI Global V-Card, based here in Florida, not too far from here.
So, but I mean, it's the same interchange, right? I mean, if you start with a consumer card, when they make the purchase, it's defined to a certain interchange expense. I mean, are you shifting that, or is it the same?
No, it's really that merchant fee, right? So if you think about the cost of card acceptance, it's interchange, it's Visa, MasterCard assessments, and then there's a merchant fee. And that merchant fee...
You're just changing the merchant fee.
That's right.
So you're basically a merchant acquirer offering a better price for this category.
That's right. And then tying that with outgoing virtual card, so from a reconciliation standpoint, all those transactions are matched one-to-one.
Got it.
So you're essentially bringing the travel agents as a high-risk margin for the banks into a lower risk by you being their relationship.
That's right.
So you're arbitraging that part of it.
And the other thing that happens here is there's a credit problem, right? If you think about buying an airline ticket, when you accept a card today, you don't get those funds for often 2 or 3 days later, but you need to pay for that ticket today, right? So there's this credit problem that companies face that we solve. We immediately give them access to those funds as soon as they accept that card so that they can make outgoing payments.
But being an independent sales organization of a processor is a commodity business, right? So at some point, let's say you actually manage to get a nice beachhead in this category, won't it be easy for every other merchant acquirer, especially the ones you displace, to mimic your model? You know, what's the strategic moat?
So we have patent pending technology because we uniquely tie those transactions together. Nobody else is both an issuer and acquirer in that way. Certainly 2 companies could partner together to do this, but the uniqueness is that behind the scenes, the technology is that those transactions are there's a one-to-one relationship through a unique code that we tie when that transaction is processed.
Are you then exposed to the bank requirement of having a reserve there as well, or is your transaction passed through?
Yeah, no reserves required with us. We settle with those incoming funds next day and make the outgoing payment on the same day.
So you're tying the merchant and the virtual card company into one block?
That's right.
Okay.
And your clients lose the free cash flow benefit, though?
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you.
Next up, Michael Ross from Bidroom. Michael.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Ross, CEO and co-founder of Bidroom.com. I think all of you are really familiar with the current industry. Companies like Booking, Price, and Expedia, they're charging enormous commissions. I know, guys, enormous. They're forcing hotels, rate parity clauses, brand hijacking, and many, many more. We are good guys. We want to change it. We're standing for fairness and transparency. What we're doing, we're basically offering a membership platform, hotel booking platform, that generates direct reservations without any commission and give the best rates to the members. So only for members. Commission free. Sounds good, right? It's really simple. You can search like any other booking platform, search for your hotel name, search for any city, enter your date, number of people, and as soon as you enter, you don't see rates, but you see login. You have to make an account before you can see any rates. Sign in with your Facebook profile, your LinkedIn profile, email, or other social media profile. you can start a 30 days free trial. After this 1 month trial, we'll charge you a monthly fee, and this is also our business model. After you log in, your account is confirmed and verified. You can see the rates. We're making the differences between the OTAs, so you can see that we're always cheaper. The general discount is between 9%, 12%, and sometimes even more. Hotels are happy because they don't pay this commission. Users are happy because they're saving a lot. You can see the difference. We're using the same conditions, same policies, only for a lower price. For users, always the best rate. We're using the rates of the OTAs to calculate hours. That is simple. We have 75,000 hotels on our platform. They all came to us. They're more than happy to join us. Daily, hundreds of hotels signing up. Besides the financial benefits, we also have extra benefits, which include free Wi-Fi, early check-in, fruit basket, extra discount in the restaurant. They can choose even to give more benefits to our members. And I said before, everybody can try it for 30 days, and they can see how much they can save on their reservations. For hotels, they love us. Every day we get, I wouldn't say millions, but I wish. We get hundreds of calls from the hotels who want to sign up on our platform because they want to stop paying high commission. They want to have more channels to get their bookings and hassle-free. And this is really unique. This is really unique technology, what we're involving. So they're setting up the discount. They're setting up, for example, 8% discount on the booking rate. They're setting up 12% on Expedia rate. As soon as somebody's searching, they can see directly the offers. Instant prices we're making for them. Minimal setup. We connect with channel managers. We push the booking directly into the platform, and that's it. We're supporting 20 channel managers, so there's no hassle for the hotel. Make an account in 2 minutes, he's active. And we don't force them with room allotments and all the other things. Simple. Choose your discount as a hotel. This is the platform for the hotels. They can select, for example, 15% on their rate of booking, 7 of hotels.com, and choose the other 2. As soon as this is set, they can start receiving bookings without any commission. It's simple. The same room is offered on Booking.com for $500. If the hotel provides a 7% discount, it's $465 for the guest. And this is also the amount what the guest is paying to the hotel, and this is the amount what the hotel is receiving. User's happy because he saved $35. Hotel's happy because he saved $50. Everybody happy. And this is really cool. Probably some of you already made a reservation somewhere else on Booking or Expedia. Forward to us, send it to Save a Bedroom, and we will get you a better deal. Cancel your booking in there, make a new one on our platform, and we will give you a better deal, and you can still save. So if I don't want to call it a mistake, kind of, but if you did it, send it to us, and we'll give you a better deal. It was a great year. This year, we received many awards. It was good to see also what is happening last year. After we launched our platform 1.5 years ago, introducing the membership fee, we get more than 300,000 members on our platform. It's growing daily. Probably after today, we've got 1,500 people more. Could be great. So it could be great to have you all on our platform. You can also use our promo code. Use Phocuswright as a promo code. You get 1 year for free on our platform. And here you can see our great team. We have a great team of almost 50 people now. Also former workers from Expedia, Agoda, former chain hotels, employees, managers. So we have a great team with experience. Me and co-founder Casper before started a travel agency, travel service. So we were able to know this business, and from then we're growing really rapidly. And now it's time for a change. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Dragons, how good are you at math?
I am interested in asking you about when people come to your site for the first time. So you've got an immediate gate up. How am I supposed to trust that you have discounts as a user?
Well, they can try it for free because still there's...
But you still need to do a sign-in, like with a Google or email or Facebook immediately.
Correct.
There's no way of looking at your prices beforehand?
No.
People are looking at several websites when they're going to be looking for a hotel room. Why would I go through the whole process of a sign-up to see the rates?
Well, good question. First of all, of course, the hotels are not allowed to have lower rates in public because of the rate parity clauses, so we have to make a login before they can see any rates. First of all, for us, also good data. So first of all, when we have members, we know when they're searching, how they're searching, where they're from. So we can also use the data, of course, for our marketing
Right,
purposes.
but how are you making it attractive for me to give you my credentials immediately? Because I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can see still many people, and especially when you're spreading it to your other friends and family, and know that you can save on your booking, you'll spread this word. And of course, I can imagine, okay, sometimes you have to provide your credit card, or you have to, of course, there's a border. But still, when people know that they can save, and even when they use the rebook tool, this is a good tool to get familiar with us, because you can still send it to us, and you get your first offer, and this is not, you don't have to make an account before.
Discounted hotels are they're heavily SEO, a lot of SEM in that area, high competition. How do you expect that you're going to be on the front page of Google and people are going to find out about your product?
We're not focusing on Google at all, because there's no sense.
Okay.
If you're checking keyword buying and those kind of things, it's impossible to focus on this.
Okay.
We have a completely different approach. We're also not focusing on transaction, we're focusing on getting members.
Sure.
So all models different. They're paying $59 per year. So we know, okay, how much does it cost to get this member on our platform? And this is what we target. We also have a lot of cooperation going on with multinationals who can bring us a lot of new users as well on board.
Did you say you had 300,000 members?
Correct.
Already?
Yeah.
Member being the consumer that's doing shopping?
Yeah.
Okay, and those are acquired how?
Different way. Not of them, they're all paying, of course. There's, I think, 20% of our base is now is a paid base. The other percent, of course, is like we're giving promos, etc., to get them on board, to get familiar. With a lot of publicity, of course, also free publicity. You can see journalists are doing researches which channel is actually the cheapest channel to make a reservation. We always turn out to be #1, so this, of course, gives us a lot of free
And
publicity.
you don't think that the big guys will react to you marketing with their name and their discounted price? I'm recalling TripTease and Booking.com suing.
Yeah.
You're not concerned about that?
I'm not, no. Bring it on.
They don't
or the hotels worried about getting demoted. You know,
well, the hotels are really happy to join our platform. That's the good thing, because they want to change something from single family-owned hotels to chain hotels. And you can, of course, when you're beginning and starting, you see, of course, it's easier to get the single or family-owned hotels on board now, because we're getting a name. We're really strong in Europe now. You can see that other chain hotels want to join as well. So we have huge growth.
Do you see yourself, though, as a secondary feeder of the big guys? The consumer always starts with the big guys, does all their qualification, their searching, and then uses you to optimize?
We don't want to call ourselves an OTA because we generate direct reservations, right? So we just have a nice platform to generate a good deal for the members, but they're paying directly to the hotel on spot.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Michael. Well done. Next up, Iran Shust from Splitty. Iran.
It's summertime, and you want to go on a vacation, but there are no vacant rooms in the budget you wish for, the dates you planned, or the hotel you wanted. You can cash in your pension, wait for a vacancy miracle, lower your expectations, pretend you're a rock star, or try Splitty. Using split and match technology, Splitty creates amazing hotel deals you simply won't find anywhere. It's a fact. Splitting your hotel reservation saves you a whole lot of money. So now you can get the price, and the hotel you dream of. Split your reservation and enjoy all the benefits it can offer. Splitty. Book different.
Hi, my name is Eran, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Splitty Travel. We've all been frustrated with how expensive hotels are and the lack of meaningful choices when booking your next family vacation or business trip. For example, let's take the Millennium Hilton in New York City from December 1st till December 6th. Now you'll notice two things. Not only is this hotel expensive, but all these travel sites offer pretty much the same price. So we founded Splitty with a mission to come up with a better way to book hotel deals, trying to find real meaningful savings, not $10, not $20 off, but real meaningful savings. So we found a way. Let me introduce you to Splitty. Let's go right now to splittytravel.com, type in New York City as destination, check-in date December 1st, check out December 6th, hit search. And again, let's go to the Millennium Hilton, and we can see right now that the prices on Priceline, Expedia, Hotels.com, they are all $399 per night. We can even click on that, making sure that this is indeed the price. And here it goes, $399 per night. Going back to Splitty, we offer the exact same hotel for only $290 per night. And across a 5-night stay, this is $600 off. Now, this is not just an anomaly. We can scroll down the list and you can see amazing savings of $800, $700, $500, $600, and the list goes on and on. Real meaningful savings. So how do we do that? Well, at Splitty, we look at hotels' inventory in a fundamentally different way. Instead of having a 5-night stay reservation, we split the request to 2 parts. The first 2 nights in the first reservation and the other 3 nights in the second. Again, it's the same hotel that you wanted, only having 2 confirmation numbers instead of 1. Only by that, we achieve savings of 20, 30, 40, or even 50% off than the average market price. For the traveler, that's a seamless experience. Behind the scenes, we're working with the hotel CRS, PMS, and operations teams, making sure that when they get those 2 reservations, they combine it to a single voucher. But splitting a reservation is not an easy task. For a 5-night stay, we have many split types, we have many reservation combinations, and of course, we have many hotels on each and every city. So for a single search, we have 1.5 million combinations to search from. For that, we've collected 2.5 years of historical hotel pricing data that feeds our machine learning engine. With that, we know that the best splitting option for this specific example would be the first 2 nights and then the other 3 nights with breakfast included and the non-refundable policy. So instead of searching 1.5 million combinations, we do a single prediction that drives most savings every time. Splitty's impact on the industry is huge. By working directly with the hotels, wholesalers, GDSs, and OTAs, we create our unique inventory that increases visibility, increase availability, and create new rate opportunities that otherwise would have never existed. We've conducted a huge case study in the last 6 months, containing 8 different cities around the world, comparing Splitty rates to the major OTAs, and we found that on average, we're cheaper in 23% of savings. That's an amazing average. But Splitty is not just about the hotel industry. We can use the exact same technology across flights, car rentals, vacation rentals, and many others. With that, we believe we can claim a sizable piece out of the $554 billion travel market. Splitty's business model is very simple. We take 10 to 20% commission from our suppliers, and that means no extra charges or fees are coming from the customers. Our go-to-market strategy is very simple as well. We work directly with travel providers and corporate travel agencies while we offer them our inventory via APIs. And for our consumer brand, we are working together with many meta searches that send us highly qualified consumer traffic. For this journey, we assembled a world-class team. I bring extensive business development experience from companies like Microsoft and Converse. Avi, our CDO, brings us awesome startup experience, and Shai holds a PhD in machine learning, brings us extensive research experience. We're also proud to have the former CIO of Merit International and the former CEO and president of Travelocity on board with us. So far, Splitty raised $2.3 million from investors here in the States and back in Israel. Let me wrap things up. Almost 20 years ago, William Shatner introduced the world with Name Your Own Price and changed the way people booked hotel deals. Today, 20 years after, Splitty is once again changing the way people book hotel deals. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Iran. Into the Dragon's Den. Dragons, another hotel site.
Great ending there. Do the hotels see this as 2 separate bookings?
Well, it depends on which hotel, but yes, because for example, let's go back to the 5-night stay. So let's say that the first 2 nights we're getting from one specific GDS and the other one would be from OTA. So the reservation departments, they see 2 PNRs or 2 confirmation numbers. So they in the beginning, they have no idea that it's you that is coming for a full 5-night stay. So here's where...
A check-in, when I get to the desk,
Exactly.
they say you only have 2 nights and then you have another booking, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
What about fixed costs? What about resort fee? All these one-off costs with the booking?
No, but we are fully transparent. We give you all the information about those resort fees or, special taxes.
Yeah, but doesn't that double up, though, if you're doing 2 bookings?
No, it doesn't double up. I mean, we just sum it up, in a single amount, and we tell, listen, for these specific, 5 nights reservation, you're going to pay this amount of dollars. It includes all the taxes.
Yeah.
But one important thing that you said, so before you're coming to the check-in, before you're coming to the front desk, before that, we're contacting the hotel. So they would know in advance that it is you that is coming, and you have back-to-back reservations.
Because last thing, and then I'll give you back to Mike. I mean, if I'm a hotel, I hate this, right? Because your commission levels are the same, and you're bypassing their revenue management function.
Well, it depends, and I'll tell you why. Because we are working directly with hotels. The reason that it's interesting for hotels, because we're actually trying to utilize their allotments. Think about there is a specific wholesaler, which you gave some allotments, and so, the rooms are saved for this specific wholesaler, and now you're going to the hotel website or a specific hotel and you search for 4-night stay, and it will prompt you with a message of no rooms available. But again, there is room available, but for those first 2 nights from the total of 4 nights, those 2 nights are reserved. Well, they have allotments for a specific provider. We can unite those 2 specific nights and combine it with, the dynamic inventory, thus creating new availability. And by the way, on average, we increase availability by 10%.
No. But that's a limited use case. I mean, your business model is taking advantage of a broken system, and by definition, then at scale, you will motivate people to close that loophole, right? So how do you create a sustainable business when the idea is to just take advantage of things that will eventually be fixed anyway?
So if we'll take 100% of Splitty's inventory right now, maybe only 30% is taking advantage of what you just said. On the other 60%, we're combining between different room types. When you're searching for a 4-night stay, it would search again for a single search. It would say, oh, so what is the cheapest room that I have for a 4-night stay? And sometimes the standard won't be available, the queen won't be available.
But you are gaming revenue management. Full stop. You are. There's no doubt about it. This is not what the revenue management guys at Hyatt, Hilton, and Marriott IHG would say is a great idea.
Right. But optimizing availability, right? That's your...
Exactly. We're optimizing availability. This is why we also have the guy from Marriott on board with us, because again, the main value that we have is to increase availability for the hotel and to fill
this seems, if it worked, it seems so easy for Booking or Expedia to replicate.
Well, they can. I mean, anyone can, right? By the way, travel agents have been doing it for years upon years.
Back to back.
Thank you very much, Iran. On that note, thank you. Good job. Next up, Angik Sarkar from Waylo.
Good morning, Phocuswright. I'm Angik, the founder and CEO of Waylo. If you like getting 5-star hotels for 3-star prices, please bookmark thewaylo.com. Because by the time I get off stage, I would have convinced you that your next hotel booking should be with Waylo. Over the next few minutes, I'll talk about the why and how of it. Let's look at hotel search of today. Most travelers start with a meta search engine that aggregates content and prices. Meta search tells you the cheapest price available at a hotel room by comparing multiple sites. So what is it that you're missing when booking with any of these sites? Time. The missing piece of the puzzle. Let me explain. Hotel prices are like stock. They fluctuate. For example, this is the real variation of a hotel room price in San Francisco. You could have booked the same hotel room for the same dates for $800 or $2,000, depending on when you booked it. When booking with any other app, you are looking at the price of the hotel at the time of your search. So time becomes extremely important. Not with Waylo. Velo enables you to book at the lowest rate between today and your check-in date. How is that possible? You can track hotels with Velo, and Velo will alert you when it's the right time to book. But we go a step further. You can book a hotel with Velo today at our predicted low rate of the future. Let me repeat that. You can book a hotel with Velo today at our predicted low rate of the future that may even be 50% less than what you're seeing elsewhere. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're traveling to Paris on 1st December. If you search for hotels today, you'll find that Hotel Belle Ami in Paris is $434 on Kayak and almost every other site, but $311 on Velo. Because we predict that the price will drop at some point between today and 1st December. So you have a choice. You can either book it at $434 with any other site, or you can book it at $311 with Velo. Your room is guaranteed in both cases. Once you book, our API seeks to score the room at the $311 price and match the prediction. If not, we cover it. How often does that happen? About 1% of the time. This is despite giving a 10% median discount and even 40% plus for some of our users. Now, you might be wondering, why is the error low? And that's because the rate you see on Velo is not our predicted minimum price, but also includes a buffer based on our confidence. And this minimum and buffer, they are all predicted by our AI price prediction model, which essentially takes in the rate history of the hotel, the demand, or how are hotel rooms getting sold, and peer group pricing, or how are similar hotels in the area priced. Based on that, we predict the expected drop dates, expected minimum rate, and the confidence. And this is all thanks to our stellar team of developers, designers, machine learning, and travel industry experts. Tanmay is the ex-CEO of the travel portal Vyama.com and the ex-CFO of Travix, the 5th largest travel company in the world. Greg has an MBA in marketing and an exit from his last startup. And about me. In my undergraduate thesis at IIT, I proposed a quantum computing architecture. In my PhD at Purdue, I proposed a new neural network architecture and received a US patent. All I do is win. And let me tell you how we are winning with Velo. Velo was born out of our frustrations in booking hotels and launched as an AI messenger chatbot in March 2017. In April, we added hotel price tracking on requests from users. We started noticing patterns in the tracking data and launched our price prediction model, the first version, in May. By July, we had expanded to 100 cities around the world. In September, we are one of the winners at Phocuswright Battleground. And we completed our first pilot with a business that books $100 million in hotels per year. We demonstrated that our technology could add 8 million to the revenue if it was 100 million. So 8% of the booking value to the revenue. We have another pilot in the pipeline that will push about 30,000 bookings per month through us. Now, how much is that worth? About 0.9 million. So that's assuming our 10% average commission and 30,000 bookings, 300 average booking. That's the end of my 6 minutes. So I hope I've convinced you to book your next hotel with Velo. If you have any questions about our API or how we are partnering with hotels and other travel companies, feel free to talk to me after the presentation or email us at disrupt@thevelo.com. Thank you for listening and for trying out Velo.
Thank you, Angik. Grab a seat.
What's that, sorry?
What do you think, Dragons? Did he win?
Well, I mean, very entertaining. Thank you very much. I do like a nice joke. I am curious about the first hotel prediction app statement. Are you sure that there's no one else there that is doing the same thing?
So according to our information, and we have asked a lot of people, we haven't found any. Recently, however, Hopper launched their price prediction. That was 2 weeks ago, but we launched before them.
Okay, right, all right. Stand by that then. It's very hard to get real estate on people's phones. How do you expect to do that?
That's exactly the question we have asked at Phocuswright Battleground and by a lot of people. So since September, we made an emphasis to go towards B2B2C, and that's why you are seeing the pilots.
So your prediction is on the basis of past data. Where are you collecting data from? What are your sources?
That's a very good question, and that's something that has plagued us. So I'd rather not talk about it. That is part of the journey, so I don't want to give anyone a head start.
But you haven't decided, are you a consumer app or are you a corporate booking tool?
Yeah, I was expecting that question. So our emphasis is B2B2C rather than direct B2B.
Which is another way of saying you're not sure yet. That's fine. So you're working with corporations and you're guaranteeing them some sort, or I mean, how's it working? Are you just you're going in and you're pitching your idea, then they just start running their bookings through you, and you're sort of taking that risk arbitrage between time of booking and time of stay, and monetizing it from there? As simple as that.
It's pretty much as simple as that.
If it's as simple as that,
yeah.
What's your strategic moat? I mean, you've just now signaled to the rest of the world that there's a really simple thing happening out there in the world of revenue management for hotels. How hard is it to do what you do, technically?
It will probably take about 6 months.
6 months? Well, I mean, so in the end of the day, if you succeed, you will have a lot of competition. So, what are you going to do about that?
We'll just run faster.
Right on, okay.
And again, it comes to the big guys and how they react. The moment you become of significant scale, do you think that they might adapt this, or do they see it as a cannibalization of their revenue if they did this? How do you see them as a threat?
So I see there are two parts to the equation. One is the OTAs, and the second part is the hotels. So, I mean, hotels might disagree with me, but the way I see it is Airbnb is stealing about 100 million nights per year from the hotels. And part of that may be because the users are not seeing the price of the hotel that they want to see it at. So if they see something similar on Airbnb, they are stealing it. So we are enabling additional revenue for the hotels. This is not affecting the hotel loyalists. So if you're a Marriott loyalist, you'll book on Marriott.com because otherwise you won't get your points and stay credits. This is for the incremental traveler. Now, OTAs, yes, we are a threat. And that is why, again, I think that if we partner with businesses and essentially TMCs, then we're getting a head start and not going down that path.
Okay. Thank you very much, Angik.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. Thanks for bringing up the energy. Next up, Anton Werner from Beach Inspector. Anton, take the stage.
I have a gift for you. To get a fresh head for what's still to come, we will all leave this room now. Follow me to your dream beach, and please, close your eyes. Can you hear the sound of the ocean? I can. I feel the warm sand under my toes. I see the vast blue of the sea in front of me. Are you happy in this place? I am happy in this place. I think it's time. We have to go back now. Please open your eyes again. Hi, I'm Anton, co-founder of beachinspector.com. 700 million people go on beach holidays every year. We people, we love beaches. Being on the beach makes us happy. And the tourism industry, they know that. So they're all playing with beach images to capitalize on our longings for beach experiences. But why does nobody, literally nobody, let us use the beach, our motivation to actually go on beach holidays, as a criterion in our booking decision? The answer is simple. The entire industry has no meaningful information on beaches. And we at Beach Inspector, we closed this information gap. And we have built a system to digitalize beaches in a highly standardized and also scalable manner. So here is what makes us unique. We have rich media content and structured data for every beach. And this data allows us to give personalized recommendations to beach holiday tourists. And to bridge the gap between accommodation and the beach. So how come we can do all of that while nobody else can do so? Well, we are beach inspectors. We inspect beaches right on site. And to that end, we recruit beach inspectors, and we train them to our inspection standards. And our beach inspectors, they have been around the entire globe for us. To this date, we have visited more than 2,000 beaches in over 40 holiday destinations. And each beach we go to, we capture in its entirety, from the ground, and with our own drones, also from high up in the air. And our beach inspectors, they often spend days on the beach, taking photos, making videos, conducting qualitative interviews with locals, and documenting each and every aspect of the beach. The result of our work is rich media content for every beach. Photos, videos, descriptions, and a data set of over 120 data points, all of which highly standardized and structured. So we cover information such as infrastructure on the beach and beach type, yes, but actually our data goes far beyond that. How full is the beach during a specific time of the year? What kind of people actually come to this beach? Is the beach family friendly? Whatever your question, we have the answer. And to get answers to those questions, people come to our website. Organic users make up more than 60% of our total website traffic. Our organic visibility has increased by more than 16 times over the last 1.5 years. And today, we have 1 million website visits a month. And this is only Germany. So we use our beach data in manifold ways. To give you an example, we used it to build the first meta search dedicated to the needs of beach holiday tourists. And what makes our meta search unique is that we are the only ones in the market to combine the two most important places in your beach holiday, the hotel and the beach, in one simple search. So booking the perfect beach holiday has never been that easy. And today, we have 3 revenue channels. We earn CPC revenues in package holidays and in our hotel-only meta search. And our partners, they benefit from receiving well-informed users that are ready to book. But we've also proven to be a sustainable marketing channel for DMOs to attract new tourists. And we offer an API solution to the tourism industry so that they can provide their users with a substantially improved search for beach holidays. Our vision is to become the digital owner of beaches globally and to integrate all touristic providers that render services to beach holiday tourists. In the picture to the left, you can see my co-founder, Kai. Kai has vast experience in online tourism, over 20 years, and he has built and exited one of Europe's biggest winter sports websites. And Thomas and myself, we both held management positions at leading rocket internet-funded companies in Europe. To this date, we have raised $2.5 million in US dollars in venture capital. So summing up, we solve a real consumer need. The market opportunity is massive. We have found a way to actually benefit the entire industry by what we are doing. And we have come a long way. We are ready to scale. We are ready to go global now. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much, Anton. Dragons, open your eyes. You're not at the beach anymore.
I love the idea, a new top of funnel concept. Very disappointed there's no Irish beaches on there.
We get to that.
What does going global mean?
Going global first means that we have to create a global coverage of beaches. Within Europe, we already have, I would say, 70% of the touristically relevant beaches. But for instance, for the US, we're still lacking the coverage to actually address the US market. So this is on the agenda for next year.
And how do you acquire beaches? I mean, what are these? You have loads of people there. What are they, like blogger type people? You outsource that, or their staff?
There are different kinds of people. There are bloggers, most dominated bloggers. Yes, we have had 15,000 applications last year. So no wonder it's a dream job. Yeah, but it's still a job. We train them, and then we give them a project. For instance, Bali, 50 beaches. And then, yeah, we trained him to get it done properly.
Is Lonely Planet that kind of a product, a competitor to you in any way for this?
I would not really say so.
Who is your competition?
Our competition, well, our competition would probably be TripAdvisor and also local websites for different touristic regions. But none of them actually has structured data, just as we do, and none of them has that of a high quality content.
Yeah, on the content, I'm a massive beach goer, so I was really excited when I saw this product. And also, just as a side note, if it doesn't work out, you could always go into poetry because you've got quite the opening. You've got quite the opening gambit there. What I found when I used it was perhaps it was a little bit too complicated. The beach is a really simple pleasure, and I'm not sure if I need to know as all of the information that you've provided. And I wonder if there's a way that you could consider simplifying that in the future. What sort of feedback have you received from users in that way?
Yes, I mean, as I've said, we have a lot of data, but we try to derive overall suitability scores for each and every target group out there, and we want to put that more into the focus of users so that they can have an easier time grasping the actual essence of the beach.
Sure. Also, from an SEO perspective, I looked up, I noticed that you've got Mallorca on your site, so I did a search for top 10 beaches in Mallorca. Telegraph Travel, Guardian Travel, all of the newspapers will write this sort of content all the time in a very simple list form. How are you competing against something like that? What do you think that you offer is really super special? And for the beach-going family going on a holiday, don't really need to know this, the makeup of the sand, for instance.
Well, you did a search in Google for US or UK, I believe. We rank very highly in Germany already because we've done a lot of PR. We are working actually with all those big publishers out there, and they use our data and our content to derive those kind of listings. So it's actually an asset for us. They consider us as the beach experts. And this is also the reason why we rank so highly. So it's rather a partnership for us than a competition. And we have such a broad data set that we could come up with hundreds of different lists.
Do you have you mentioned API solutions, you have a revenue model around API solutions. Briefly, what type of partners do you have now and what's the revenue?
Well, it's still in progress. We are developing it. And basically what it will mean is that our partners can integrate beach preferences of their users in their searches. So they can show beach competence to their users and distinguish themselves from others out there.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much, Anton.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Next up, Steve Sherlock from Padlo. Steve.
About this time last year, I met with a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley, and we talked about travel insurance. Now, sometimes that can be a conversation killer, but on this occasion, it was pretty interesting. You know what she said to me? She said, "Steve, to me, travel insurance feels scammy. I don't know what it covers. They want me to do an impulse buy, so I decline it every time and just take the risk." Now, maybe you feel the same way. I know a lot of people do, evident by the relatively low uptake rate. Now, whether she was conscious or not of why it felt scammy, to a certain degree, it's true. Now, it's not the insurance companies that are scammy. It's the way the policy is distributed, because they don't use data adequately to match the policy to the context and the traveler's profile. Now, in the airline industry, there are ample examples of where this isn't done well, but also in the vacation rental market where we are active. Say, for example, you're booking a 2-week vacation rental in Florida. You're booking it 6 months out, and you have to pay a 30% deposit at the time of booking. But the insurance offer is for 100% of the trip. So that doesn't make sense. In that case, the insurance is dumb to context. Or if you're from New York and you're traveling to Florida, and your health insurance covers you in both states, then why should you have to pay for the medical part of the insurance policy? Now, an expensive vacation in Florida, you definitely should take out hurricane coverage. But if you're traveling to Los Angeles, do you really need the hurricane coverage part? In that case, the policy is dumb to geography. So the poor use of data is half the problem. The second half of the problem is access. Now, insurance companies mean well, but unfortunately their processes are quite bureaucratic. And it can take easily 6, 12, 18 months to be fully onboarded. Now, we're dealing with a B2B relationship with small to medium property management companies. And for most of those companies, dealing with the big insurance companies is out of their reach. So what we've done is created a fully automated process where a property manager can create their own website literally in 2 minutes. They can then start putting this in front of their guests to sell travel insurance. Now, to help drive traffic to those sites, we provide them with a dynamic widget. So the widget, in this example, sits on the confirmation page, and it creates it reads what the trip cost is, and then creates a live quote. It also brings in the policy that best fits that context. So here, for example, someone's traveling to, it's a ski holiday, traveling to Colorado. So rather than having hurricane coverage, it brings in no snow days coverage. And when the guest hits the buy now button, we get a 30% conversion rate, which really speaks volume to selling in context. Now, for those companies who don't want to create their own white label or have an embedded widget, if they give us access to their reservations, then we can make recommendations on their behalf to their guests based on their cancellation conditions. Now, to make this all happen, we've had to create an end-to-end infrastructure. And so that involves connecting to big insurance companies' APIs, aggregating those products. We've got 31 policies so far, and they're all digitized. And then the model's on a wholesale basis. So we have a big enough margin that we can then share revenue with our distributors. And then we make it super easy for the distributors to access that product through that automation process, and then have this layer of intelligence to match the policy to the context. So it's relatively complex. Now, as far as competition goes, we're unique in 2 ways. One is that we have this automation process that fully automates onboarding. And 2 is our post-sale focus. Our main competitors, their policies in the vacation rental market can only be sold up to the final payment date, and that can be easily 6 months out. So our policy is specifically designed to be able to be sold up to 24 hours before check-in, which gives property managers and the guests a lot more flexibility. To do all this legally, we've had to become licensed in every state in 3 lines of insurance. We've got a global policy which we're about to release. Around 250 property managers have actually used the software to help their guests buy travel insurance. And we've sold approximately $2 million of insurance for our carriers, and a quarter of that has been in the vacation rental market. It's a pretty big market and getting bigger. With the uncertainty in the world, that's not good for the world, but it's kind of good for travel insurance. To acquire customers, we exhibit and market ourselves in the vacation rental, travel, and insurance industries. We're a full-stack team. Everything's been developed in-house. 20 years experience in online travel, several successful startups, fair share of failures. Andrew and I actually worked at Virgin Airlines together, so we're really familiar with large-scale e-commerce. So we're solving those 2 problems of data and access, and our promise to the market on a global basis is the right policy for the right person at the right price. Thanks for your attention. Over to the judges.
Thank you very much, Steve. Right at 6 minutes. Dragons.
So for you to make money, you're going to have to get some breakthroughs in distribution. So what are you thinking about? What strategies are you thinking about to try to really drive that kind of acceleration?
So in our pipeline, you could say, we've had contact with a number of companies, TripAdvisor, Expedia, Agent Network. So they're the sort of networks that we would ideally like to distribute, but to start off with the lower fruit, we're doing it through vacation rental property management systems. So one of our clients, for example, has 12,000 properties connected to their platform. So we did that one plugin and then we're off and running. So that's, but our system can be used by people with one property.
Well, I mean, like, for example, are you talking with Airbnb as a vacation rental behemoth?
Well, we have.
And what did they say?
They said, Steve.
Not yet. Phocuswright Award first.
I think they're probably picking our brains. Airbnb, there's a problem in the industry, just to keep it quick. They've got this force majeure where property managers end up being the insurer of last resort. So, they have some terms and conditions which, if someone cancels within a couple of days, the property manager can end up holding the baby. So,
but it's a great way for them to monetize an ancillary, right? If they could sell insurance to people booking on their platform, are they thinking of doing it themselves, of working with some of your Fortune 500 competitors? I mean, why would there not be traction?
Well, probably because of our size, and maybe they don't trust our ability to execute at that scale. And actually, they'd probably be right. We want to get to that point. But we're sort of doing it step by step.
See, if your big pitch was centered around providing, if I get it right, an optimized product for the consumer, therefore a cheaper product for the consumer. Yeah. Have you any data? You haven't said that this converts better than a non-optimized product with a good brand name like an Allianz or a AIG, whatever. Have you any data that says, look, it converts better?
Well, we get from that widget that I showed you.
Yeah.
We get about a 30% conversion rate.
Yeah, but versus an unoptimized product like the off-the-shelf, AIG product.
Well, you'd know in the car rental industry. And
that's why I'm asking.
And in the airline industry, I worked at Virgin Airlines.
Yeah.
And the conversion rate was probably, 5-10%.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what our conversion rate is, but what I can tell you is that you need to study and you need to present the elasticity of this product as a reason. It's you versus the big brand name.
Yeah.
And you need to present, I think, an elasticity model that shows the conversion versus price effect that demonstrates it is better to optimize down, if that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're missing data there,
Yeah, okay, no, good point. I'll take that on board.
So your competition is mostly in the pre-sales side, where you're focusing on post-sale. Why is that?
A couple of reasons. One is a lot of people in the vacation rental market, for example, don't purchase insurance at the point of sale because they book their vacation rental maybe 6 months out. Then they've got flights to book, other items to book, car rental. So by doing it after the sale, we give it a lot more flexibility.
Okay, but have you not lost the customer in the process?
No, but then we retarget.
Steve, thank you very much.
No, that's a big point.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Up the stage. Next up, Cody Martin from Madebot. Cody.
We ready? Hi everyone, I am Cody Martin. I'm Vice President of Key Accounts for Madebot. We are a robotic company that is out to revolutionize the way the housekeeping departments are in the hospitality sector. I'm sure everybody here has watched The Jetsons. I know I have, and I know that my CEO, Micah Green, has as well. Even whenever I was working as a room attendant at the Hilton in downtown Waco, nothing ever changed in the housekeeping area. Always the same. The only thing different would be maybe Fabuloso to Windex. So the problems in housekeeping. Room attendants are now making $8 to $40 an hour. With that being said, the hotel is spending $500,000 a year just in cleaning annually. $65,000 is actually done in injuries within the hospitality market. $350 million of that is in workers' compensation. The number one complaint for guests is the cleanliness of the room. 55% actually said, hey, this room is dirty, it's not clean. Rosie is designed to clean the room, floors of the hotel guest rooms, well as the public spaces. Similar to a self-driving car, Rosie navigates around using laser sensors, mapping her surroundings, and navigating around stationary dynamic obstacles. It's simple. So the room attendant goes into the room, puts in the room number, Rosie goes to work. During that time, the room attendant can then go to the bathroom or tile floor within the hotel and deep clean that portion of it. You know, we recognize that robots are best for tasks that are dull and dirty and dangerous, and housekeeping encompasses all of those tasks. This is a competitor video of what the typical housekeeping or room attendants would use in their, as their vacuums that are in their hotels now. So what are we saving? So the room attendant goes into the room, they tidy the room, they make the bed, they dust, they go to the bathroom, and then they vacuum. So what we're actually doing is saving that 5 minutes per room. So that 5 minutes is actually calculated within the robot. Each Rosie is its own computer system within itself. It's able to go back and actually give the data back to the hotel to say exactly how much they've saved in room savings. So we did a pilot at 2 huge properties that are globally branded properties. We reduced the furniture in the room, the overtime amounts, less dust in the room. We actually detected the Wi-Fi issues within the room, detected mold, and also any type of liquid that may have been down in the room as well. What are the benefits? A space like this, 100% of this would be done by Rosie. You would not need any type of labor for that. 20% of that would be also in the room savings as well. What we also bring is consistency. Your guest satisfaction scores are huge within the hospitality industry. We bring that consistency to each one of those hotels so it knows exactly that that room is completely clean to the best that we can do it. Excuse me. We reduce power consumption by 80%. You're no longer plugging in those big vacuums that take all that power. The check-in and out times is huge for every hotel. Heads and beds obviously make the money. Forecasting and cleaning time and scheduling. Like I said, Rosie is its own computer system while going through any type of area. So we're actually able to track the health of the robot as well. So if it's low, if the battery's low, bags, a wheel's coming off, we're actually able to proactively send that type of information to the hotel so they can go ahead and fix Rosie herself. So what we're doing is we're increasing the bottom line. With our software, as you can see, Brenda actually saved per day an hour and a half in that room. So that hour and a half, she could either go to another department and help out, or the labor cost is what the hotel is actually looking for, so that labor would go down as well. So Micah is our CEO and president. He's won so many awards and extremely talented. He's won Lodging #1 Visionary. He's been at many awards at South by Southwest. Our team consists of rocket scientists. We even have a guy from Starwood who was the vice president over all of housekeeping. Our board members consist of Mark, who's over American Hotel Lodging Association, and also Charles, who's also founder of Guitar Hero. Thank you so much, and let me know if y'all would like to see Rosie.
Thank you, Cody. Appreciate it. Sit down, take a deep breath.
I've got a couple of questions.
Over to the Dragons?
So I have a couple of comments I'd like to make about your product. Firstly, are you going to be calling it Rosie outside of the industry? Because I feel like Hanna-Barbera might have something to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're calling it.
Okay, so I might check on your copyright there.
Oh, no, we've already checked the copyright on all of
Okay,
that.
all right, cool. And also, I worked in housekeeping for a year, so I was really interested when I saw this product. And I can see your point about it making a time saving, but if you really want to make a time saving, find something that'll make a bed.
Right.
That would be great. And also to reduce injuries as well. So I'm not sure how, there's a couple of statements that you make in your pitch that I'm not sure how it's fitting together with what essentially looks like a self-driving vacuum cleaner.
Right.
Yeah?
What's the revenue model? Is this a hardware sale?
So it's a software as a service sale. So it's a monthly sale. So literally once the hotel buys Rosie, it's a monthly sale, and then anything that goes with that. So it could be vacuum bags, it could be the scent that goes into the room. Anything that goes wrong with Rosie, we actually send out anything that would be able to fix it or whatever else.
But the return for the hotel is the cost saving.
Right.
So why are you better other than the bit on top than a Roomba or a Dyson?
So that's interesting. So we had a Roomba that one guy had a hotel of 140 rooms. He bought 20 Roombas. The Roomba lasted a total of 14 days. The batteries actually melted. They could not hold up to anything. And you know, Rosie actually bases out the room. Your Roomba is just going to hit the wall, go back, hit the wall, go back. We actually map out the room to know exactly where the vacuuming needs to go.
Okay, so it's an industrial room.
Right.
Right, okay.
And does Rosie work with an assisted process? Is that, or is it mapped?
With a what?
Does it work with an assisted process that somebody has to, work with Rosie to clean the room? Or
No, so basically you enter the room number on Rosie, and then Rosie knows exactly what room that is in.
So it's mapped automatically?
Right. It'll map out through linear design on top of Rosie.
Can you break down the numbers? Is it too private to say? But
So as in financial, or
yeah. What's the unit cost, revenue?
It all depends on the hotel. How many rooms they have, and so forth and so forth. Because we've already got contracts with.
But the capital cost of the device, the hotel doesn't see. You take that on.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And you manufacture that device, or
Yes, it's all manufactured in Austin, Texas.
Very good.
So what's the wow in the business? I mean, right now it sounds like you're selling a bunch of automated vacuums and, to a relatively limited set of potential buyers. What's some of the alpha in the idea?
Well, the wow factor is first off, robotics are cool. Second,
for now.
For now. Could change tomorrow. But, the wow factor is literally the cost savings, because in housekeeping, the major concern is whenever the room attendant's putting it on the bed. That's where their biggest hurt is. And then vacuuming.
But let's say, okay, if all you do is save time and money, and then that's somehow sustained 3-4 years from now, they're just going to see level time cards, but this expensive service they're paying for automated vacuums, you're going to see a lot of price pressure, your margins are going to fall, competitors could come in, that's pressure on the business. So is there anything else you're able to do?
And we will leave it there.
Sorry.
Thank you very much, Cody. Next up, Philippe Duraslanian from Constance. Philippe.
Hi, everyone. 7.8 billion passengers in 2036. Double what we have today. With this comes complexity and much more data to manage. But airlines and airports today are missing the data connection. Sure, they invest in merchandising, personalization. They are pouring money in artificial intelligence, and yet they rely on data that may be not up to date, that not may be quality driven or even real time. And they don't know where to use that data. Is it in reservation, digital, loyalty, third party, departure, marketing repository? We have a broken system and we need to fix it. And it's no wonder that travel professionals say that the number one issue is fragmented travel engagement systems. At Constance, we've also developed a 12 data dimension, one of which is the end-to-end data. And on there, we found that 96% of airlines say, yes, this is business critical, while only 25% said that they have an easy access to it. This is where we come in. Constance has developed a brand new innovative data agility platform. It sits in between the data silos at the bottom, the backend system, reconcile and orchestrate all that data to then empower the business application, merchandising, personalization. It's PSS independent, backend system independent. It's NDC level 3 capable. It sits in the cloud, and it provides a bunch of APIs. So, two characteristics of that platform that makes it even more unique, even more differentiated, and even more innovative. It's total data. It's not only the traveler's data as we know it, but it's combined with travel data and transport data. Traveler's data when it comes to quality of data. when it comes to bringing a lot of history to a traveler, when it comes to loyalty and also non-loyalty member, a very important point. This is combined with the travel data, contextual data. Is it business, leisure, channels, checking information data, and finally, the transport data, the flight data, that makes a merchandiser, a marketing person, being able to have a truly actionable merchandising because it relies on real-time inventory, ancillary quotas, and the like. The second point that makes the platform even more unique is the journey event. We're talking about the post-booking phase, where the customer is left alone, where he's on the go and using his mobile. And there are dozens of events. We don't want marketing to put out there campaigns and cross fingers so that the response rate will be better. Instead, we want a marketing that is truly reactive, monitoring the customers and being able to react to specific events. When does a customer buy an ancillary? When does he go to checking, boarding? Is there a no-show? Complex event that we manage and where we make merchandising and servicing become truly instant. An example that we've done with our partner Switchfly is actually when there is a disruption with the hotel. And suddenly, thanks to the transport data and the travel data, and thanks to the event triggering, we are able to send an SMS to customers and say, you have a number of options, you select them, and before you know it, you go to sleep. This is what our customers find as well. Flexibility, customers' insights, and business reactivity. How do we execute? Quite simply, we have 3 segments, airlines and airports, big IT spend, and in which data is a big component, and government as well. Recently, we've added government because they need that kind of agility platform to manage PNR security and to comply with regulation in that field. And as such, this translates nicely into a recurring fee per passenger that grows with acquisition and organic growth. We have a solid team, proven execution. Just our 3 co-founders have 100 years plus of airline IT experience. We have a number of customers, airlines and government, and our pipeline is growing by the day. So time is up to finally catch the data connection. We innovate with the first data agility platform in the industry. We have a nice execution, proven business model, and we have a vision that is a total data for a total experience. This will allow airlines, airports, and others to grow their business today, be more efficient, and be able to double their volume by 2036. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Philippe. Dragons?
That's an incredibly complicated and ambitious thing that you're doing, but it appears that it's working. Who are some of your big customers right now?
Well, we have Bratins, and we have some undisclosed customers at this point.
And who would you see as your biggest competitors in this promise?
Biggest competitors, there are many, because there are many players, the passenger service providers, the PSS providers, the Amadeus, the Sabre, and so on, provide a vertical solution. CRM, they would provide some solution as well. There are digital solution only in the field of digital, and you have as well data collectors that are quite generic, but they don't know travel. So we have a number of competitors, obviously, because this is a key industry issue, clearly so. And there are lots of competitors, but they tackle specific parts of that challenge, as opposed to trying to have a holistic view.
So last question for me, as a business, you've got a fairly discrete number of potential buyers, right? It's not a very large market. You've got a number of incredibly intense and entrenched competitors who are under pressure in other areas of their business who need to own the IT stack. And you've probably got a sales cycle that ventures somewhere into the 2-year. How do you sustain a business given those forces?
I may disagree with what you said. First, we have a huge potential market. Today, we focus on our sweet spot, which is more like the tier 3, tier 2 airlines. Second, our sales cycle can be quite quick. As soon as the airline is decided to indeed fix the data problem. And three, we have the possibility to actually implement that data solution within weeks. And the competition landscape that you define is good news for us. That means clearly that there is a traction, and we have like unique USPs when it comes to the events, when it comes to the PSS independence, when it comes to NDC level 3 capable, and other points that our customers appreciate.
Very good, thank you.
It feels like a service, a consulting service rather than a product. Is there, like, what's the breakdown of your revenue? Is it services, product? Is there an actual product?
There is consulting is important today. We have a team that does consulting to help airlines transition to that type of solutions. We help as well with our consulting airlines to optimize the benefits of using that solution. But clearly, our aim is to go after recurring revenues mostly in the vast part.
And I didn't get that from your deck. How does that break down your recurring revenues? Is it tied to passenger volume? I saw 9 billion there for airlines. I didn't know where that number came from.
In terms of revenue mix between consulting and recurring revenue?
No, for the recurring revenue, how does that work? Is it per passenger charge?
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's a current standard model. We are not reinventing the wheel. All the IT providers charge on a per passenger basis, which makes a lot of sense and easy for customers to buy and easy for us to build.
Okay. Thank you very much, Philippe.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Well done. The last innovator of the morning session, Johnny Thorson from Mezi. Johnny, take us home.
Hi everyone, let me introduce you to Mezi, your personal travel assistant in a very near future. And for some of you in the room already know you're actually happy users apparently, because you told me last night. So Mezi is on a mission to create the world's first AI for travel as a service. We believe that every traveler who moves around in the world should have a first-class experience, no matter who they are, how they travel, who they work for, where they go. And that experience is delivered by a combination of technology and human expertise. We are going after a $1 trillion global corporate travel industry, which has basically reached the end of the lifetime for the browser-based booking engines that have been around for 15 years or more. We believe the new combination is a mobile-only that combines AI, NLP, and human expertise into one channel of service, so the days of online and offline are gone. We do that by delivering a mobile app, which is your one channel of conversation. Everything you do, you provide to us in free text. You can talk to the phone if you want to do that, or you can write. Every time you talk to us, we interpret and we deliver results back. We call them product cards, and they are specially designed for the mobile channel. Our customers are B2B customers, which means we deliver to the players in the travel industry who want to upgrade and modernize. We deliver white label, brandable apps, so it's their brand in the hand of their customer, not somebody else's brand. One of our key powers is the fact that we store the conversation. It actually never times out, it never disappears. You don't come back to a browser that's timed out. We have more than 50 million words so far in our database that our users have given us, and we can analyze them. Number 24 on the list of most used words is thank you. Number 44 is sorry. People know they're talking to a bot, and yet they're using emotional loaded words. We're starting to look for patterns around which words they use when they search versus when they book. We can look for trigger words for unhappy users or very happy users and react accordingly. Currently, we are about 60% automation, which means 60% of all conversations we generate a fully automated response, no human involvement. At the beginning of the year, that number was 30%, so we are improving rapidly. When you onboard, you create your own profile. We actually don't call it a profile, we call it the travel genome. And just like the human genome, it consists of DNA. It's all the information we pick up about you based on your actual behavior and conversation with Messi. The initial profile is there, but we actually upgrade it and update it based on what you do and what you perform over time. So it's a dynamic profile, not a static profile. We only serve the 3 options when we deliver back to you. Why? Because nobody wants to scroll through 20, 50, 100 of options and find what they think is the right one. So we narrow it down to the best 3 based on everything we know about you. You can ask for more if you don't like it, but that's where we start. In the background, there's a dashboard where our customers, staff, or kind of agents, they monitor conversation and step in when required. Whenever the bot does not know what to do, it asks for help. And that is not a failure, it's actually a training opportunity. Because now the human agent steps in, takes over, tells the bot, Messi, what to do in this situation, and activates. We become a little smarter every day, we can honestly say that. The agent can also interact and do direct search if they want to do that, so they can do manual search and then select and push back into the same channel. No break of channel. They can search for air, they can search for hotel, and we actually have some customers who are starting to use this as their new internal point of sale system. So why are we disrupting? Well, we're built for travelers by people, ironically, with no travel experience other than being a traveler. Our profiles are dynamic, they evolve. We have a single channel of service, no matter what you book, where it's booked, and you can ask for anything. It's your service provider that decides what you can get back. It's a hybrid. It combines AI and human expertise. It's not black or white. It will allow you to migrate from the old to the new world. And we control this AI engine. We build it, we run it, we decide what we need to put into it to evolve. So when you do a search, the Smart Connect engine will interpret what you're looking for, and our Smart Assist will go and pick it up, and then we curate it through the travel genome filtering. So that's where the 3 options are found. All that is done with advanced technology. You see all the terms on the right here. Those are new in the travel industry, and you don't need to worry about them. That's what we do. We deliver results back, and you go forward. So each conversation is literally broken down into small pieces. We're looking for the intent, we're looking for when are you going, and we're looking for information about potential price points, etc. So going forward, we're ready to execute on a much larger scale. We got $9 million in investment last year. We have a management team in place, and we will start delivering outside the US market next year. We have a well-defined business model, and we actually have customers who have signed up to this, both corporate travel agencies and consumer service players. And we know what we're going to build next year. The first AI-generated travel policy or travel protocol, predictive services based on all the data we have, doing trip communication, and an even more powerful engine for marketing based on what we have right now. And we won our first awards, so we're actually already an award-winning platform, which we are incredibly proud of. And we basically look forward to servicing you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Dragons, did you catch the business model slide, or was it too quick?
You didn't answer all my questions as I was coming up with them, but you skipped the revenue model very quickly. Can you just call that out again?
Yeah.
What is it?
So the business model is...
Can we bring up that business model slide?
Yeah.
I'll bring the slide up.
I think you didn't want us to see
They
it.
will probably do that out there. Yeah.
So go ahead, Christian.
So it's a monthly subscription model where we charge a minimum monthly fee, which includes unlimited conversations and a number of bookings. The cost per booking will drop as the monthly subscription amount goes up.
Okay.
Can you walk through the use case with American Express?
So it's the American Express card side of the house. So they have deployed us to a number of Platinum card members, and Amex we have trained their staff, so they're literally servicing the kind of the technology as the agent, and they have seen higher average purchase value in the Messi channel than in their traditional call center channel.
So and you're saying in that case, you're an assist to the call center.
Well,
it's
we
not
are
through their travel booking site.
We are an alternative, and when the technology cannot deliver, a Messi-trained agent will step in and deliver the results. They never hit the call center anymore.
Who do you consider your major competitors at the moment?
So we don't have any direct competitors, meaning nobody else is providing AI technology for customers to use. There's a few other players who have built AI-driven travel. They want to be a travel service provider. They literally want to sell you travel. We do not. We are a technology company. We sell to companies who want to use our technology to sell travel.
So when you go in, do you train the models on historical data then when you go in? Like, is there an implementation up front, or do you just start?
The customer decides how they want to onboard. We can take existing profile users and upload, or they can literally create a fresh start and say, you now download my app, you register, and you start getting service.
Okay.
And 2 of our customers have literally decided to create a new brand for the message service offering, so they can create a complete new business model instead of trying to squeeze it into the old corporate travel world.
But is the model, are the trained models that for the neural networks, are they aggregated across all your customers, or are they exclusive to?
They decide which content sources they want us to activate. We can go GDS, we can go consumer content on the web, or we can go to private inventory sources that they might be sitting on. So each customer will have their own configuration of content and services they want to support.
Okay. And you're focused purely on selling product, not customer support?
We provide technical support to our customers. So we are the technology provider, but we don't provide doing travel support.
I mean, you said that you have no competitors, but over the last couple of years, we've seen a number of voice-activated, AI-claiming services, many of which have started out wishing to sell travel, and they quickly found that that was too difficult, and now they're technology providers just like you. So what's the secret sauce?
So at least this is what we're hearing in the market from our customers, that we're currently the only solution for a corporate travel agency, a TMC, that they can pick up and brand and start deploying.
And is it technology? I mean, what is your competitive advantage, your secret sauce? I mean, you have a bunch of PhDs that have built some really cool stuff, or?
We have a bunch of AI kind of developers, and our secret sauce is the AI engine that we control.
Any other verticals planned? Banking, retail?
Suppliers have contacted us. We could definitely become a supplier technology as well.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Johnny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's give a round of applause to the first group of innovators, as well as the first group of dragons. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Phocuswright's newest initiative, Phocuswire, your daily digital travel coverage. Kevin, who do you have teed up next?
Okay, thank you very much, Pete. Hello to everybody in there. Hello to everybody that's watching online. It's Phocuswire's launch day, so welcome everybody for, as Pete says, your daily dose of digital travel coverage. So we've got a lot of shows lined up over the next couple of days, and one of them that we're streaming live right now. All the others will be on Phocuswire.com. But what we wanted to do, given that you're in the middle of Innovation Day and things like that, is get 2 experts along to have a talk with us for about 15 minutes or so. So we're going to dive straight in with this, Norm. So I mean, you've been overseeing Travel Innovation Summit and launch and all the various things that Phocuswright has been doing for many years. What would you say is the quality of the overall quality of the products coming through at the moment on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being absolutely poor and 10 being I can't wait to invest in it myself? What would you say that the overall level of quality is?
So I actually want to answer that with two answers. So I think the overall level of innovation is probably around 5. The quality of presentation is probably around 8. So we've improved very much with how well people pitch, how well they hit the marks as far as the evaluation criteria. But as far as true innovation that's going to change and really alter the underlying kind of ecosystem in travel, it's about a 5.
So they're good at selling or telling the story about something that might not be very good.
Whether it's an attempt to just go around existing processes or take advantage of weaknesses in processes. I mean, that's a kind of a common theme. We've seen a few, new areas such as going after the beach or going after, other aspects that haven't been tackled, but there's not a lot of new ideas coming out, which I really like to see, that kind of shake things around and alter maybe the positions and the roles of the players.
Okay, so Ian McHenry, I mean, you are a previous winner of this particular competition, which is why we've asked you to come along this morning. But I mean, the same question first of all. I mean, what would you rate the overall quality?